Coming to you straight from the Rio Grande and beyond. Broadcasting to the four corners of the globe. So grab your seat, your coffee, or your sundowner.
Okay, everybody, here we go.
On point, as always. This is Gloves Off. Gloves Off.
Back at you in Gloves Off, and today we have a great event, something that the community is looking forward to. It's the debate for the Republican candidates for US Congressional District 28. And we have some great candidates. We have 7. One of them, I found out today that he was running. I spoke with him and he said he could not make it. I got to him late. So please excuse us, Erica, for that one. But on the others, we have Miss Sandra Whitten, we have Rolando Rodriguez, and we also have Mr. Ed Cabrera. So right now we'll start off with the opening of each candidate, and the first one is Ms. Whitten. Ms. Whitten.
Well, hey, y'all. Thank you so much for hosting this debate, Paul. I really appreciate it. My name is Sandra Whitten. I have lived in Laredo for 13 years now. I've raised my family there. It's the first place we bought our home. 2 of my children were actually born in Laredo, so Laredo is definitely home. I decided to run for Congress back in 2019 when we had a partial government shutdown, and my family was directly affected when our congressman was going around saying that there was not a problem on the US-Mexico border. I have stood proud and long to defend that. We actually do have a crisis on the US-Mexico border. The joy of Laredo is that we have much more than a crisis on the US-Mexico border. We also boast a bustling trade that is #1 in the United States, and we house so many other things that get overlooked. But our district is more than just a border. Even if we are the 2nd largest border district in the in Texas, we go all the way up to Bexar County and everything in between, and we have to fight for not just the border crisis, but we have real issues that affect every single Texan and every single Texan in District 28. And that's exactly what I'm going to continue to do.
Thank you, Ms. Whitten. Now, Mr. Rolando.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Bitron. Hello, my name is Rolando Rodriguez, and I am also running for District 28. I am not a politician. I really started learning a little bit about politics and, being in a grassroots movement. And I live 1 mile from the border, and I have never in my life seen what is going on right now. I really believe that if we do not act right now, if we do not do what is right, if we do not stand for this beautiful country, communism is already inside our country. And that is my biggest concern. I traveled in the past as a missionary to a communist country 7 times. What I witnessed over there is I don't want that for my kids. I don't want that for my community. And I don't want that for any family of this beautiful country. It's time to save America, and please join the team.
Mr. Cabrera.
Sorry, Withdrawn. Can't get a hold of him. He's in the middle of nowhere. My apologies.
Okay, keep on trying and we'll get back to him. Okay.
Okay, we'll do.
Okay, going with the first question, we'll go ahead and start with you, Mr. Rodriguez. Okay, and it's very simple. Local city governments have not been abandoned by the federal government. Congress has embarked and sent over millions of dollars of COVID-19 relief money for local governments, such as Laredo, Zapata, and so forth. Do you agree that the city government has been silent or opaque or not transparent with the citizens as to how and where the money has been spent? How would you help the citizens, the small businesses, students, and teachers with this relief money?
Mr. Bitron, I didn't hear almost the last part of your question, the last one.
The last part, the question is, how would you help the citizens, the small businesses, the students and teachers with the COVID-19 relief money?
Well, first of all, I've been a few times in here where I live to the commissioner's court. And me and a group of friends, we've been going there, to let our local Democrat authorities that we still have here, that we're not gonna let them, or at least that now they have opposition, okay? And we know, yes, that the federal government has been sending millions of dollars, and that has created a big problem. Because now schools are, this is what I believe, okay, personally, and my team that we have been working, that they are like pushing the schools in our area to push like the vaccine and the mask mandate in order for them to have that money, okay? Now, how should our people be helped with this money? I think that they should help, especially students at the university level, so they can be more confident in taking a career in their life. Now, I really believe that the biggest problem for students, university level, is the tuition fee. The tuition fee of the universities is not according to the inflation rate. And we need to fix that.
Okay. Ms. Witten, how would you answer that question?
So, the biggest problem is when that money was being formulated out, it started in the Appropriations Committee, which is where our incumbent lives. And he didn't know how the money was going to be appropriated down to the counties and then internally down to the cities, and they left it to the state. Now, Rolando did bring up a good point that the counties and the school boards specifically are now trying to force mask mandates and vaccines and things along those lines because they're feeling the pressure of the federal government. But the problem is the federal government has no business in schools. It's a states' rights issue, not a federal government issue. So we've got to allow that separation. But the way that we're going to take care of this is when we're appropriating money at the federal level, let's know where it's going. Once it got to the city level, and we fought this in Webb County. In fact, in Laredo, we did the Open Texas rally, and we said, hey, where's this money going? Why are we staying shut down? We're hurting our businesses. We're hurting our students. We're hurting everything. Every single aspect of life was shut down with the promises that the federal government money was going to come in and fix it. And yet it did nothing. It just sat there. And cities like Laredo, unfortunately, felt that they could still milk the federal and state government for more money. We've got to start learning when to cut off the purse strings and hold our local governments accountable.
Okay. Now for the next question. What is your direction for South Texas when it comes to economic security and wellness of citizens? Are the needs of the Rio Grande Valley versus Laredo or Eagle Pass the same or different? Are the needs of all South Texas similar? If yes, how? If no, what is the difference? Ms. Witten, you'll start with this one.
So the needs of South Texas is just as great as South Texas is. We have many needs along the river. The needs of Webb County are completely different from the needs of Zapata County and their neighboring counties. Zapata has a big water problem, for instance, that's being completely overlooked. And so is Duval and Jim Hogg even. Webb County has problems with water as well, but it's in a different facility. So those are water problems that we have down south, but in the northern part of our district, they may not be facing those problems. They're facing issues with government defunding of military installations and things along those lines, where counties like Bear, for example, benefit greatly from these things. But and then we have the more rural communities kind of in between, where it's more farming issues that we have. So we have a vast difference of needs throughout the district, and it's important that we address each one and realize that all 9 counties have very specific needs, and that the needs of Laredo are completely different from Brownsville or completely different from El Paso, even though we're all still border communities.
Okay, Mr. Rodriguez, how would you answer this?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Butron. Personally, we all have different needs, from regarding person to person. Because we have different goals in life. But in our area, it really hurts me when I hear people around, saying that South Texas is the poorest part of the nation. And it's sadly, many of our people have to immigrate and go up north in order to bring money and to bring food to their table. I think we have to think that and find a way to bring big companies down to this area so they can give jobs to our people. And also we need to help small businesses so they can get on track again. Many of them, they were killed because of COVID. They closed the bridge. The southern Texas area, Mexico is part of our economy. They come on the weekend, they come in between the week, they come to buy machinery, expensive things, Our mall here in McAllen is sometimes used to be the #1 shopping area during Christmas in the nation, and sometimes #2. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. So we need to bring businesses. We need to create more opportunities with Mexico so they can come and spend money here. We need to bring big companies down here to help our communities.
Okay. Next question. Is achieving prosperity. We understand that citizens are free to choose what they want to do. This includes financial capacity to afford their choices, and thus closely feel that we are not in a secured environment to protect those investments. How do you push for prosperity in this time of COVID? This goes with Mr. Rodriguez.
For me, okay, give me a second. This is question number what?
That's
3?
the third question. Yes, sir. How do you push for prosperity in the time of COVID?
Well, I think it's very simple. If we would just won't let government to regulate our businesses too much. There's a lot of regulations in that to pay less taxes. With those two things, really that we could activate the economy in this area also. Less federal government interference, less local government interference, and just open the way so businesses can come back on track.
Okay. Ms. Whitten?
When we came down and when we brought down Allen West, when we did the Open Texas, Open Laredo rally, we didn't just do a rally. We went and said, hey, let's go visit some businesses. And we went to restaurants locally, and we went to the gun range locally. We went to Arena Gun Club. We encouraged people to go shopping and do things along those lines. Then when we brought the SREC back in March of 2021, for the State Republican Executive Committee, we did the same thing. We encouraged people to go out and go to restaurants and we also had a rally in tandem with it. And we encouraged people to go to restaurants and go to shopping centers and do all of those things. And the cool thing is that the state was interacting with Laredo, and businesses were excited because they had customers coming in. People were going back home with all the treasures that they found in South Texas, and it was beautiful. And what we did is we said, we're not afraid, and we went out and we stepped out. That's the whole key, is we have to, as consumers, we have to empower our local businesses. So the way that we can prosper in a time of COVID is to stop shopping online and go into a store, visit our friends again, and sit around a table at one of our amazing restaurants throughout our district and share a cup of coffee and get some guacamole and some chips and salsa and just have a conversation like we used to. Because I promise you, it's fun. You forgot how much fun you used to have with your friends. And hey, look, no one's going to force you to wear a mask. But if you want to wear a mask, but don't make that a requirement. That's how we bring back prosperity in a time of COVID.
Okay. The next question, and you'll start with that, Ms. Whitten, is many will agree that prosperity is more than just an accumulation of material. It is basically the joy of life. The prospect of being able to build an even better life in the future. With this being said, Laredoans must have an equal opportunity to pursue any type of employment across social classes. How are you going to bring forth jobs to meet these expectations?
So you're absolutely right. The key word is having the opportunity. Sadly, South Texas has not been given the opportunity. We have a lot of instances in Webb County, for example, where city council or business owner or landowners or things along those lines have stopped businesses from coming into our area. In Zapata County, for example, they've been turned into a no trade zone. So they cannot have things like, you know, trucking facilities and things like that there. So it's creating those opportunities, but we have to incentivize. And in order to incentivize, we have to be involved in the community instead of in the monopoly business. Once the government and once the local powers that be will get out of that monopoly business, will allow smaller businesses to be able to grow and thrive. We'll be able to bring in manufacturing and things that will actually help the #1 port in the United States thrive and grow even greater, because that's one of the key things that we're missing in our district is manufacturing. We've got to be able to bring that back. And then we're going to have the opportunities that some of our bigger cities like Dallas, Houston, Fort Worth, things along those have that we've been able to miss out on because of the greed of the monopoly in South Texas.
Okay, Mr. Rodriguez?
Yeah, this is what, number 5, right? Or number 4? Well, small, like Sandra said, small businesses is the key to local prosperity. Small businesses is the key for local jobs. And small businesses is the key to help our communities with their taxes. And also small businesses bring local pride. So I think we need to open the door for us, for local businesses, help them get on track again, help them if they're struggling so they can continue. If they close, bring them up again, help them the most we can. We have about 30 million small businesses throughout the nation. And these businesses are the ones that bring more prosperity to the nation.
Okay. The next question, and you'll be answering it first, Mrs. Rodriguez, is South Texas, as we know, is rich in traditions and culture. Many are connected to our neighbors to the south. With that said, how are you going to deal with Mexico and with the problems that we face today?
Yes, Mr. Buitron, I think what concerns me more about Mexico and the problems we have, we have not only problems, we have, it's a great country and a great partner. But right now, recently, with the all the immigration crisis, Mexico has been hurting our nation badly, real bad. And I think we need to fix that issue with Mexico. The first thing that we should work on right now with Mexico is to help us with the illegals coming in. Mexico right now is doing nothing. I really believe that if the United States, Mexico, and Guatemala would work together on this issue and stop the migrants, not in our border that we have here, but in the southern border, there would be a different story, a very different story. But in order to accomplish this, we have to work together with Mexico and Central America. That's a big concern for me right now with Mexico. So another way, something else that we can do is, as a matter of fact, there's an organization in Mexico called the American Society of Mexico. When I went there about 2.5 years ago, for my first time with this organization in Mexico, I was surprised, that I got to meet people from the United States in Mexico, like the CEO of GM in Mexico, the CEO of Ford, and it's a big organization. So we have all these multi-million-dollar companies, American companies in Mexico, but they are taking this for granted. If we would stop a little bit or do something that will make Mexico, get on our side regarding immigration, I'm sure that we can use that the economy, their economy, in order so they can pay attention to our immigration crisis right now. So that, or working in the south border of Mexico, but right now for me, it's not okay for these kids, for these families to be, to suffer at the river. Right now, I've been to the border many times. I've taken friends there many times, and what we have seen there, it's not okay, Mr. Buitron. I never seen it before in my life, and we're suffering on this side, but also the family that are coming, they suffer too.
Ms. Whitten?
So, we have a great partnership with Mexico, especially there in Laredo. It's our sister city, and we do a lot of trade back and forth there. Even when the border was shut down to people traveling back and forth for pleasure reasons, we were still doing stuff with Mexico. And what we saw under the Trump administration is that we actually Trump made Mexico great again. That's how Laredo became the #1 trade port in the United States, was because we put Trump put tariffs on China that allowed us to bring through Mexico. And when Mexico saw that they were able to create revenue the right way, as opposed to having to rely on the cartels, they were cleaning up their part. But now that we have somebody in office who does not care about, trade, who does not care about border security or anything of the like, we're seeing our neighbors across the border suffer again. And so, as good neighbors usually do, we should go in and help our brothers and sisters when we can, and our neighbors as we can. So we have got to get tough on what's going on in Mexico. We are tough all over the world, but we're not tough in what's happening in Mexico. And as the neighbor to Mexico, as a direct neighbor to Mexico, we've got to do our part and step up and help them fight this war on the cartel. We've got to label them as terrorists, and we've got to take them down. The Mexican government needs our help, period. And so do the citizens.
Okay. That was the last question. Now, each one of you has a minute for closing, and we can go ahead and go back with Ms. Whitten.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate this forum and this opportunity to be able to answer some of the questions that I know is on the hearts and minds of people in our district. And I know that when we're going into the ballots February 14th through the 28th, and then again on March 2nd, that you're going to have a tough decision to make. But I've proven myself to be a fighter for District 28. I've not backed down from the issues, and I have promised to fight, and I will fight, and I'm going to continue to fight with my last breath to make sure that voter integrity, border security, and trade, and that we thrive in District 28. We have so many concerns that I know touches the lives of every single person that's watching this, and then some. And we're going to improve those, and we're going to make it better. And I'm going to be your fighter. And this time we will go all the way. We came close in 2020. 2022 is our year to take it. Thank you, guys. You can visit me at standardfortexas.com or on Facebook or any of the other social media platforms. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Buitron. Well, thank you so much for inviting me again, and thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for taking your time and present us to the district. We are living in hard times, and as I said in the beginning, what concerns me the most is that communism is already in this country. Maybe in a small percentage, but we have to work hard, to bring values again to our schools, to our families, and to this nation. I believe that really we don't have much time. And I believe that every constituent should get involved in this. A congressman or a congresswoman cannot do everything, from Congress. We try, we'll work hard, but we need the help of every constituent. How? Call your neighbor, call your friend, tell them what's going on in the country. They need to know that the normal news channel that we were, used to see since we were little, we cannot trust them anymore. Now there's different channels like yours and many others that are bringing the truth to our community. And I thank you for that. We need to open the eyes of our people. They need to know the times that we are living and that we don't have much time to act. We need to pray for this country. We need to come back to godly principles. And we need to bring back our Constitution to our schools, our Bill of Rights, everything that will open the eyes to our kids. We need to work with our school systems. And we need to work against anything that comes from China. God bless you all. Thank you again for the opportunity. God bless you and God bless America.
Well, number one, I want to thank you all for coming out here in the forum. I also want to thank Mr. Cabrera for trying in, and also Cassandra, she sent me a text trying to connect. I want one more time for Eric. Please excuse us here from Gloves Off for not knowing that you were running. We couldn't get your number or your contact. So having that said, folks out there, elections are around the corner. Study each candidate, give them a call, find out who they are, visit with them, research each and every one, and take your vote. Make sure that you go out and vote. And each community is different. Each community means well. South Texas is a beautiful place to live and grow. I'm from South Texas. And what we need is somebody that's going to be able to cross the lines and shake hands on both sides, because we live in a time where we're facing our brothers and sisters, our neighbors, and we're calling each other enemy. And that's not the American way. We have to bring back, our great flag has red, white, and blue. It's not red, nor is it blue. And it has 50 stars out there that shine. So number one, we have to put that back together again. I want to thank you both for continuing to go forward, and all the other candidates that put your name down there. It takes guts to sign your name when you run. And may God bless you all.